What's good? Anthony Cordova here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about why people don't ever, nor will they ever, or they haven't supported you in the past. I think the first reason that people don't support you is that, especially if they know you, they know your track record, they know that you've tried to be successful at maybe a particular thing, a particular business, or your fitness journey or your diet, and they seen you cave in, they seen you not follow through, and they quote unquote think that they know you. So they're not buying in, they're not supporting you. I admit for myself, sometimes my follow through on things have been shit, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna wake up the next day and start all over again or try again. I'm not gonna just give up because I wasn't successful on that particular day. But in general, people that know you, especially friends, family members, loved ones, whatever you want to say, are not going to support you. Number two reason is that they're living their own destiny. They're living on their own timeline. They're on their own journey. They're dealing with their own fears. And if you really look around, about 70% of people, I think that was more before, because people are waking up quick to the reality that, like, nobody's coming to save us. No matter who they put in office in our country, it doesn't matter. But still, you have about probably 70% of people out there or more just basically sleepwalking and going through the motions and consuming shit that's not good for them and going to work every day, not, and just kind of surviving paycheck to paycheck in bad health, have a ton of anxiety, believe the mainstream narrative that, you know, once we get this candidate in this office, you know, everything's going to change. And that's just not the case. So basically, people are projecting all their fears and anxieties and their scarcity mindset onto you. Like I said in my last video, your subconscious brain wants to keep you safe. Its main function is to keep you safe, keep you comfortable. So we consume shit that's not good for us, and we watch the news, and we self-medicate with either alcohol, weed, pornography. It spikes our dopamine, and we drop down to a lower dopamine level, and we're unhappy. All the food that we're consuming is affecting our central nervous system and our endocrine system, and our cortisol is all spiked, and we're all on edge because of all the mainstream media and all the stuff we see on social media. And so those people that are sleepwalking, they're going to project all that fear and anxiety onto you, especially if you're telling people your plans, which if you watch my video on why you need to stop trying to validate and telling people all your plans, I'll link that here or somewhere up here. And so yeah, when you tell people about your plans and all these great things that you're going to do, they can't see it, they can't envision it, and they're going to throw negative energy and negative emotions at you and negative dialect or whatever. I think the third reason is that people just don't fuck with you like you think they do. People will keep you around as long as they have a need for you and it serves them for the most part. But once that need is over, or once they can't get anything out of you anymore, especially if they're somewhat of a sociopath or narcissistic people, and there's a lot of them out there because everybody's running around on edge and triggered off all the PTSD that we have from our youth and not healed and wounded. So when you do tell somebody about your plans and goals, they hate on it instead of supporting. If I look different, it's because I had to continue this video the next day because it was my birthday yesterday. So people were calling me to wish me a happy birthday. So I wasn't able to finish the video. But let me go on. For the most part, people only fuck with you on a surface level. Meaning that, yeah, you might get some support from some friends as far as like, hey, like, I'm going to come to your, for instance, like when I would do a DJ set, I'm going to come to your DJ set and, hear you play. Or they might come to one set or two or whatever the case may be. But that's about as much as you're going to get from people, though. Even when you ask people to maybe do things for you, or you ask for, maybe you need donations or something like that, people for the most part will donate if it's something that they consider like a hardship. But if you ask somebody to like support you, hey, come to my event that I'm putting together and you got to pay this much, for the most part you'll see that people don't support you like that, unless it's like free or it's a good friend and they're coming to visit you or see you one time or maybe two times. Like I said, if people aren't getting benefit from the thing that you're doing, direct benefit, they're not going to support you the way you think that they will. And lastly, I would say that this is a huge section of all these people, and they just don't care, period. Like, most people are dealing with their own issues in their own life, and if they're out there trying to get it, they're building their own dreams, or they're building their own life, or they're dealing with all these stresses of today's society that we deal with, and they don't have time to think about your endeavors or your projects that you're working on or doing. They might, like I said, on a surface level be like, oh yeah, congratulations, or good job, or you might get a way to go, or I don't know. But for the most part, people aren't gonna, especially if it costs money, are not gonna support you. I did multi-level marketing a couple different times in a couple different companies. One was like a health and wellness company, and then I worked for a insurance company as well. And the whole multi-level marketing thing is you have to bring people in to basically sign up to either use a product or sell a product or what have you, and you get a commission off or a percentage of every person's you bring in's commission. And multi-level marketing actually works, and it's a good way to learn how to do sales for free. If you're shy about sales and you just want to learn how to do sales for free, go sign up for one of these companies. Actually, it's not free. There's some kind of sign up fee, I'm sure, or some set of products that you got to buy to get into these companies, but it's a cheap way. Like some of these companies, the buy-in's like $50 or $90 or $100 or $200 or maybe $1,000. I mean, they have different levels of buy-ins, but it's an easy way to like learn how to do sales and learn about customer service, because they will teach you. And sometimes you can be good and you can start making sales, and there's people that make a ton of money off of multi-level marketing. But I kind of was not wholeheartedly a believer in it, just because, I mean, that's one thing that when you start doing something like that, people are going to judge you. And I don't think my will to do it or my perseverance was strong enough, or my belief in what I was doing was strong enough. And that was just because of me, not because it doesn't work. But when I would get people to when I would try to get people to come to the meetings, and it was like pulling teeth. Yeah, I'll go, and they wouldn't show up, or what is it? And like, oh, isn't that like a pyramid scheme? Are you sure you should be doing that? Like all these objections that you would get from people that you knew or acquaintances, because I would just go through the phone book. They encouraged you, and if they encourage you to go through your phone and just start calling people, and you just call everybody. And you'll have, like me, I think I had like maybe 5 people show up for me. But other than that, I mean, it was, like I said, very surface level. None of them bought anything. I think maybe one family member bought in or started doing it with me. Actually, my sister started doing it with me, and she actually did really well one year and made like $85,000 in like 5 or 6 months or something like that. She did really good. But other than that, like getting people to come to the meetings was not happening. So like I said, people just don't really care. They don't fuck with you like that. They do, but on a surface level maybe. And you get people out there that just hate in general. I can end this video by saying that you don't even need any of those people. Yes, you do need community when you're building a business. I think that's one of the things that I lacked when I had my business, was I didn't build community around me. Yes, I had loyal customers that loved my work and brought me all of their work, whatever they thought that I could do for them. I had those customers, but they came and went. They weren't always around. And they were easily influenced by other people. I remember one time I painted this truck for this guy, and I charged him super cheap. The truck was super clean. It was a square body Chevrolet, like a 85 or 86 square body Chevrolet, and it was lowered, and It was like a street truck for those back in the day. Anyways, long story short, I painted this truck for him and I charged him super cheap. I didn't pull all the moldings off, and I was charging him a super cheap deal. Granted, it only had like 2 or 3 dents and the whole thing was prep, but I think I painted that truck for like $1,300 or $1,400. So I had a gallon of like off-white paint. He said, I don't care what color white, just paint it white, right? Well, I had this, like I said, like a gallon of Imron that was like off-white. Wasn't pure white. It was definitely off-white. So it was kind of creamy looking white, right? So I paint the truck. He comes to pick it up. He is like ecstatic about it. Like, oh, it looks so good. And I've always prided myself on quality, no matter what steps I'm taking. So I made sure that the truck was prepped all nice. I made sure that it was masked off nice. I hate seeing like under tapes and then there's paint on moldings and weather stripping and whatnot. I hate that. So I made sure like there was no paint on any weather stripping, anything like that. If you do get a little bit of tape bleed or whatever, I would go in there with a little knife or something and just scrape all that paint off, make sure everything looked nice. So he picks it up. He loves it, right? And I'm like, awesome. He's happy. I got my little quick $1,300 or whatever it was, $1,400, and he takes the truck. But he knows people that I know, in the car community is like a big long distance family, I guess you could say, in the car community, especially in these smaller towns like Modesto, Patterson, all the Central Valley around here, right? So I see him or run into somebody that knows him, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, I was talking to this one guy, and he's like, he was wondering, how come you didn't take off all the weather stripping and the moldings, and the color's a little bit like dark. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, I did you a clean ass paint job for $1,300 or $1,400 or whatever dollars it was, right? And I'm like, you loved it when you picked it up. Now all of a sudden you talk to somebody else, an acquaintance, and all of a sudden you're having an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, dude, get out of my face. Like, don't ever bring me anything again. But that's the type of thing that you will get in, especially business. Somebody could love your product and then they go off and one of their buddies knows somebody that paints or does whatever you do, and they'll start picking it apart. I've had tons of stories like that. I had a guy come with an RV one time and I painted it for him, and he went to another shop and, he should have did this and did that. Well, one day I didn't have the time to do that same RV, and he had wrecked it again, and he took it to that shop where the guy was like, oh, he should have did this or did that. And I'm telling you, this thing came back with dry spots and runs, and he's like, oh, like, he's kind of unskilled. And I'm like, well, how's he speaking on my shit if this is the product that he turns out? That guy, and I just kind of laughed, like, see, like, you guys come over here and tell me all this, oh, so-and-so down the street is doing it for cheaper and, says they can do it better. Like, take it to so-and-so. It ain't no sweat off my back. But like I said, I'm going to end this video here. Hope you're getting value from my videos. You don't need people to fulfill your dream, to fulfill your success. Yeah, community is good, and You have to learn how to negotiate and how to surround yourself by the right people. Like, even though people don't mess with you like that or don't support you, there will be people that you meet that you do business with, because you need people, period. You need people to do business, or in life, period. You need community, but you don't need them on a level where your endeavor, business, life depends on them, if that makes any sense. Like, a lot of things you can do on your own. You can't do everything on your own. You're going to need a network of people to do anything. But find the people that matter, and the people that can show you something or that are doing the thing that you want, and take advice from those people instead of having those toxic people that you don't know if they're coming or going, or if they're with you or against you, or they don't really mess with you like that. And get rid of those people and move on to the people that can help you in life or support you. Support those that support you. It sounds as simple as that, but that's literally what you have to do. All right, I'm out.